Shalom. First of all, most I want to give all praise, glory, and highest honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh, Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Shalom, to hopefully elect. This is Brother Rocky coming back with a quick one. Okay, first, I want to play a couple of videos concerning this DJT Emperor Nero Trump AI video. Iran embassy mocks Trump with animated Hormuz video. The Iranian embassy in South Africa has posted an animated video of US President Donald Trump singing about the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz as tensions continue in the region. Okay, it is from NDTV. Let's go. Okay, they're making fun of this dude, man. They're making fun of this dude, bro. Because I was also seeing some reports that now he wanna block the Strait of Hormuz. So okay, give me just a moment. Yeah, so I just wanted to check something out. Trump says that Iran is blackmailing the world and that he wanna go out there and pretty much take control of the coast of Iran and also the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, let me put something out. And maybe you also see the picture of Trump, showing himself as so-called Jesus, man. It's fucking funny, man. These motherfuckers are proud. Okay, this is from BBC News one day ago. Why and how is US blockading Iranian ports in Strait of Hormuz? The US has started a naval blockade of maritime traffic entering and leaving Iranian ports. You see? So now he wanna block that shit. US forces say they will intercept or turn back vessels traveling to or from Iran's coast. The US will rely on its fleet of naval vessels to control access to Iranian ports and in turn restrict Tehran's ability to profit from oil exports in an attempt to put pressure on the country. It comes after negotiations from both sides failed to reach a deal to end the war, which began on 28 February but is currently under a 2-week ceasefire. Okay, so what's going on is that now Trump wanna block Hormuz. Like they say, you can't make this shit up, man. And now China commented that this is dangerous and irresponsible. Yeah. Okay, so let me play. I have some more videos of DJ Trump. Okay, this from 9 days ago. Trump's most chaotic press conference ending has everyone's speechless.
It's not a danger. NATO's, look, we went to NATO. I didn't ask very strongly. I just said, hey, if you want to help, great. No, 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 we will not help. I said, that's all right. You don't want to help? Because I've always said NATO's a paper tiger. See, NATO is a paper tiger. Putin's not afraid of NATO. Putin's afraid of us, very afraid of us. And he's explained it to me a lot of times. I got to know him very well. I know him very well. NATO's a paper tiger. NATO is us. And when we needed them, but we didn't need them, by the way. We didn't need them, obviously, because they haven't helped at all. Just the opposite. They've actually gone out of their way not to help. They didn't even want to give us landing strips. Think of it. It's not just NATO. You know who else didn't help us? South Korea didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Australia didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Japan. We've got 50,000 soldiers in Japan to protect them from North Korea. We have 45,000 soldiers in South Korea to protect us from Kim Jong-un, who I get along with very well, as you know. You notice he said very nice things about me. He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded person, okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible. But to me, he likes Trump. And you notice how nice things are with North Korea? It's very nice. But we have 45,000 people, soldiers, in harm's way, and right next to Kim Jong-un with a lot of nuclear weapons. 45, which should have never happened if a certain president, I'm not going to mention this president because I happen to like him, believe it or not, but if a certain president did his job, Kim Jong-un would not have nuclear weapons right now. But they're all afraid to do their job.
You notice? Just fucking rambling, man. This dude has lost it, man. Just all over the place. But he's a front guy anyway, man. Philip Green from the movie Casino.
Properly. But just to conclude and just to finish, Japan didn't help us, Australia didn't help us, South Korea didn't help us, and then you get to NATO, NATO didn't help us. There were some countries that did. Now, countries that have been good, now you could also say they're got to be a little bit more involved because they're in the territory, but Saudi Arabia has been excellent, Qatar has been excellent, UAE has been excellent, Bahrain, Kuwait. I mean, Kuwait did shoot down 3 of our planes. The only planes, really, that we lost were friendly fire, they call it. I call it unfriendly fire. They unfortunately didn't know how to use our great Patriots. The pilot said, what kind of a missile's coming at us? Patriot. Boom, they got out. Because they know a Patriot never misses. So they had beautiful Patriots. There were planes heading in their direction. Unfortunately, they decided to shoot those planes. They were our planes. So, NATO is a paper tiger. Now, he's coming to see me on Wednesday, as you know. He's a wonderful guy. Secretary General is great. And Mark Rutte, he's a great person, but he's got, and you know, it all began with, if you want to know the truth, Greenland. We want Greenland. They don't want to give it to us. And I said, bye-bye. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
He said, we want Greenland. They didn't want to give it to us. I said, bye-bye. You know, Revelation 17 and 16. I'm not going to go into it. You already know what it is, man. Revelation 17 and 16, man. So now check this out, man. This fucking pride.
Miltä se teidän viikko maistuu? No tässäpä hyviä vinkkejä S-Marketista.
So I did see this. Donald Trump.
Ezekiel 28. Spirit saying me Ezekiel 28. Yeah. I haven't read this in a while too, man. Might be over a year or so. Ezekiel 28:1. The word of the Lord Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus that said, the Lord Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a power, I sit in the seat of power, I in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not power, thou set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. So you're gonna see in the following video, man, Trump depicted himself as so-called Jesus, man. I'm jumping down to verse 6. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. These Edomites, man. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations. You're gonna have all the nations shoot nuclear missiles at America, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the death that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am the Most High? But thou shalt be a man and no power in the hand of him that slayeth thee. Thou shalt die the death of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers, for I have spoken, it said the Lord Yahweh. We waiting for this world system to go the fuck down, man. We ready. We ready for spiritual power, for Jacob's trouble, for Yahweh Shai to arrive. We ready for these things, man. So let me just check a couple of comments. Guess I'll cross starts a beef with Pope of my bingo card. Yeah, he also beefing with the Pope, so-called Pope Leo.
So I did see this. Donald Trump's long post on Pope Leo.
Italian Prime Minister Meloni, Trump's words on the Pope are unacceptable.
Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. He talks about, quote, fear of Trump administration, but he doesn't mention the fear that the Catholic Church and all other Christian organizations had during COVID when they were arresting priests, ministers, and everybody else for holding church services.
The Hillsborough County Sheriff says a Florida pastor was arrested for holding church services during the ongoing.
Bruh, you were literally the president when that happened.
I don't want a pope who thinks that it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I don't want a pope who thinks that it's terrible that America attacked Venezuela. And I don't want a pope who criticizes the president of the United States because I'm doing exactly what I was elected in a landslide, setting record low numbers in crime and creating the greatest stock market in history. Leo should be thankful because, as everyone knows, he was a shocking surprise. He wasn't on any list to be pope, and he was only put there by the church because he was an American. Are you telling me that he's the DEI pope? If I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. Unfortunately, Leo's weak on crime, weak on nuclear weapons, does not sit well for me. So what did Leo say? Like, I don't want to have an opinion about this twice.
Just funny, man.
Basically said that the message of the church, my message, the message of the I look at my role as being politician. Don't want to get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be abused in the way that some people are doing. And I will continue to speak out loud against war, looking to promote peace, promoting dialogue and multilateral relationships among the states. Too many people are suffering in the world today. Too many innocent people are being killed. And I think someone has to stand up and say, there's a better...
Whoever perished being innocent, there is no consequences. Everything happens through the will of the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai.
So that's what he said?
Everything happens through the will of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, man. There's no consequences.
Is this it? So Trump made this post again. Trump as obviously, let me go back and we can just put it back on. And so anyway, let me see here. President Trump deleted this.
You see? He definitely trying to show himself as the Son of the Most High, who is not even Jesus, you know. It's not so-called Cesare Borgia. His real name is Yahushai, but you see what he's doing here, man. You know what he's doing here. Look at the garment. We all know what he's doing here, bro. So he posted this through social, but then he deleted it.
Social post to represent himself as Jesus. Not a surprise. Should have posted this one instead.
Should have posted this one. And instead you have Jeffrey Epstein. You got fucking Bibi Netanyahu. Israeli flag, Epstein, Melania Trump. Think that's that bitch, Ghislaine Maxwell. I don't know who the fuck that is.
So anyway, let me see here. President Trump deleted the social post to represent himself as Jesus. Not a surprise. Should have posted this one instead.
See, they put the fucking Baphomet up in there.
That's actually funny. I like that. And anyway, so did you post a picture of depicting yourself as Jesus Christ?
Did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I had.
You were obviously trying to pretend like you were Jesus. What are you doing?
I just heard about it, and I said, how do they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
I mean,
I like to make people better. I make people a lot better. This nigga is funny, man. You know, of course he's a, you know, he's a devil. You know, he's fucking eating my butt. He also, you know, a little bit funny, man. You know, to be honest.
I just heard about it, and I said, how do they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
I mean,
Man.
A move that lost him the support of even his most vocal ally. Someone should probably tell Fox's Maria Bartiromo not to ask questions.
Okay, so this is OMG. Trump's friendly folks interview turns into disaster.
That she doesn't want the answer to.
Do you believe the price of oil and gas will be lower before the midterm elections?
I hope so. I mean, I think so. It could be the same, or maybe a little bit higher, but it should be around the same.
I want you to take a look at Bartiromo's face. The moment Trump says gas prices will be higher, probably because gas prices reached an all-time high in 2022, and national averages right now are 8 cents away from that, which will mean that Donald Trump will likely be the president to preside over the highest gas prices in American history, which would be bad enough unto itself, but worse given the fact that Trump campaigned expressly on this issue, saying stuff like this on a near daily basis.
Gasoline's going to be, I think gasoline's going to be below $2 at some point in the pretty near future. It's very low, much lower than it was under Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, something tells me that Sleepy Joe Biden won't look too sleepy after Americans see their fuel bills in the coming months. But that was actually a high point during this interview with Maria Bartiromo, because he went off the deep end saying this.
Doing well at all. They're getting killed. I could take out Iran in one day. I could take out in 1 hour. I could have their entire energy, everything, every one of their plants, their electric generating plants, which is a big deal. And I hate to do it because if I do it, it takes you 10 years to rebuild. They'll never be able to rebuild it. And the other thing you take out are the bridges. I took out one just to show them because they went public with a statement that wasn't true. They admitted it. I say, I'm going to take out a bridge. And I took out a bridge. And that was the end of that. Now they've been really behaving quite well. But in 1/2 of a day, admitted it, I say, I'm going to take out a bridge. And I took out a bridge. And that was the end of that. Now they've been really behaving quite well. But in 1/2 of a day, they wouldn't have one bridge standing. They wouldn't have one electric generating plant standing. And they're back in the Stone Ages. I'd rather not do that. But I do believe they're going to come to the table on this because nobody can be so stupid.
Just look at her face. She like, the fuck going on, man. She like, I want out.
Say that we want to have nuclear weapons and they have no cards. They have no cards whatsoever.
Oh, nothing. Just the President of the United States threatening nuclear war again against Iran. In case you thought that maybe, just maybe, Trump learned his lesson after threatening outright genocide against Iran last week, a move that lost him the support of even his most vocal allies.
Now it's time to say no, absolutely not. And say directly to the president, no. In case you're thinking about using some weapon of mass destruction against the population of Iran, in whose name we liberated Iran, we killed their religious leader for their benefit. Do you remember that? This was last month. Those people who are in direct contact with the president need to say, no, I'll resign. I'll do whatever I can do legally to stop this because this is insane. And if given the order, I'm not carrying it out. Figure out the codes on the football yourself.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians, just casually in a social media post.
How do we 25th Amendment his ass?
The problem is to get the 25th Amendment's harder than impeachment. You have to get 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate.
So what do we do?
Tackle Trump and let him pretend he's president and publicly report that he's going through a health issue and Vance take over. It literally needs to be something like that. It's that bad.
Yeah, apparently the lesson Trump took was to lean in on genocide just in case anyone missed his lunacy the first go-around. And what's worse is that it's not like Trump doesn't understand the economic consequences here, because in this same interview, he said this.
You want to see a stock market go down? Let a couple of nuclear bombs be dropped on us, or frankly, any place else. And then you'll see a stock market that goes down. So the stock market has not gone down very much at all. It's gone down a little bit, much less than I thought. And frankly, the gas hasn't gone up as much as I thought. But regardless, even if it did, we have to stop this group of people from having, and again, it was worse because Khomeini was a total, radical, I'll be nice, maniac. He was a maniac. And you can't let them have a nuclear weapon.
Right.
So I just have the greatest economy ever. Everything's going along. And I say, I'm sorry. I tell my economic advisors, I say, I'm sorry, fellas. We're in great shape. We have to go and take a little journey down to Iran, and we have to stop them from having a nuclear weapon. They all said, we agree.
That the stock market will crash if he does the thing he is currently threatening to do. Something to remember as he threatens to take any of the insane actions that he's suggesting. He knows full well the consequences, he just doesn't care. It would almost be better if he was completely ignorant, but he's not. He's just reckless. He knows that he's using the market and global economy as a cudgel in his war games. He just doesn't care because he is a lunatic who's perfectly willing to sacrifice everything that we have in pursuit of his own ego trip. Listen to what Trump then said to Bartiromo when she asked about getting the price of oil and gas down.
Going to be enough, the blockade in the strait, the opening up capacity in the United States is this going to be enough to lower the price of oil and gas, sir?
Well, eventually it's going to be lowered. No, it might not happen initially, but it's gonna go down. When this is all over, look, the stock market, the Dow hit 50,000. It was supposed to be in 4 or 5 years.
Suomalaiset insinöörit ovat kehittäneet puutarhalipuun lisälaitteen,
Fucking bullshit.
ainepesureista
The Dow hit 50,000. It was supposed to be in 4 or 5 years.
He literally did the Pam Bondi. Like, unironically, he pulled this move.
Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about.
That dog shit performance was enough to get Pam Bondi fired. And yet, apparently Trump decided that that's the best he's got. In case you were wondering how good Trump's basket of options were at this particular moment. The reality is that I'm actually glad Trump is doing this little press tour. I'm glad that Fox's audience will hear right from the horse's mouth how bad things are under Trump and how bad they'll continue to get. I'm glad that they don't have to assume that if they're hearing it from the left, that it must mean that it's spin. There's no spin when it's Trump himself threatening more war, when it's Trump himself promising higher gas prices, when it's Trump himself revealing how little he cares about America first and how much he cares about squandering every tax dollar we have in another forever war in the Middle East. Maybe now the whole country will finally realize that America first was window dressing to get your votes, and that all Trump really cares about, all the GOP really cares about, is bolstering his ego, building his legacy, and helping himself.
Yeah, it's pretty much the time of the end. Be prepared in the spirit. All praise, glory, and thanks, honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham Dash. The Bulganer eldest pastors of Great Millstone, Shalom to the next one, Shalom.